Hello, and welcome back. We actually missed a few episodes, so I hope you guys missed us. But we're back with another awesome episode. Unfortunately, our guest today has some technical difficulties, so she may or may not join us. But we do have some topics that we do want to discuss with our viewers. But I do want to talk about a fundraiser that we're doing right now. We're working on some programs that we want to implement in our community. We're doing a popcorn fundraiser. We're trying to raise $1,000 so that we can start a program for youth in tech. And we're also going to have a specialized program for youth, the youth with intellectual disabilities. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're raising money for. You can get some awesome popcorn. It's delicious. And you can get to that at our website, bestiesinbiz.com. We also wanted to remind you guys that if you want to be a guest on the show, you can also send us a note or a message at that same website. And if you want to advertise on the show, you can do the same thing. So you have your wonderful host. We have Simply Naima. We have Crystal, who is the connector. C Murder took off for Sunday.
It's the hairstyle.
Okay, I love it too. I love those braids. All right, so we just gonna get rocking and rolling. We're gonna do a icebreaker game because I have some new questions. So are you ready? Remember, you just answer one answer, and you have to say it quickly. No pauses, no breaks. Ready?
Okay.
All right. Netflix or Hulu?
Hulu.
Netflix.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Void. Full life. Full life. Void.
Would you rather have money or free time?
Free time.
Free time.
New clothes or a new phone?
New clothes.
New clothes.
Bath or shower?
Bath.
Shower.
Laundry or dishes?
What? Neither.
Please. Why are we getting domestic questions? Bath and shower, laundry, dishes.
Would you rather have toast or eggs?
Toast.
And would you rather be a passenger or a driver?
Driver.
I would rather be a passenger though. That's so weird. It depends on who's driving though.
I can't be. I'm the worst passenger ever because my reflexes. I step on the gas and they start off slow. I step on the brake when they're going off fast. And this is before I've just recently. When I say recently, for the past since I had kids, have an automatic. But me and the stick shift, the clutch, I was always grabbing the clutch when we're driving. It's like, girl, get out. They would put me out.
You can ride with me because you can't be touching my clutch. I'm trying to down shift, up shift.
Like,
girl, my stick.
I'm the worst passenger, and I know this. My sister knows to put me either in the trunk
or the back.
And I know for her, I need to put her ass definitely back in the trunk because she is the worst passenger ever. She's like this. You're driving, and she's like, "Girl, look at this. Look what I just seen. I am driving.
No.
How are you gonna look at it?
Looking, I'm driving.
Right? And she's looking out. Oh, what was that over there? Oh, did you see that? I'm driving. Okay. I would just pull over. Let's pull over so we can all see the scenery because apparently you think this is Mario Kart.
All right, ladies. So we decided that we're going to talk about group economics because that is one of the missions of our group, our business. Besties is a nonprofit, and we use networking as a way to promote group economics. So we want to talk about why do you ladies feel that it's so hard to get that going? Because from our experience, this past year, it's been rather difficult to get a group of business owners to not only understand the concept, but to actually put it in practice. Everybody seems like they're out for self. Me and Crystal had a conversation earlier about some reasons why that is. So I wanted to just talk about that a little bit. Why aren't we able to work together so that everybody can create wealth? It's more of, I want generational wealth for my family. I want me and mine to be okay instead of let's do it together as a whole for everybody.
Well, you want me to go first? I think for me it's challenging with the group because I'm so distracted, you know, I guess with my own personal life that is managing me right now because I'm responsible for so much, you know, but in that, you know, we still have all of these conversations about what the mission is, right? I'm more like a silent partner. So in terms of the mission and what it is that we're trying to do with group economics, but not just with group economics, but also just information. And so I wanted to look up the meaning of group economics, right? So the meaning of group economics is essentially a group of people who have a common economic interest. Unfortunately, I don't think that everybody in our group have a common economic interest. Um, and this common economic interest then drives these people to actively pursue that interest in order to create a secure economy for all participants in that group economics. So I think you said it best, Dee, when you said a lot of time, you know, it seems like people are out for self. That's not us. And we just have to recognize that there are some people, you know, that we engage who, you know, are true to the mission and want to do the work and not spend so much time on focusing on who doesn't want to be there. You know, what God ordains, no one can stop. And I believe our mission and our work is ordained by the Creator. So I know it gets frustrating, and even sometimes I feel deflated, you know, because it's like so much that we're trying to do, but just focus on the mission and not focus on the mess, you know. Like, but people will bring the mess. We just got to rise above it. Um, you know, when we think about group economics, cooperative economics, and how important it is to individual households and families and communities, you know, like we're always thinking what the next step is for the next person. Right now, we're seeing a lot of gentrification going on. I think I shared on my social media page about that house right off 52nd and Cedar that's going for $2 million. You know, and somebody was like, "Oh well, you know, it's an 8 unit situation." Like I get that, but that's one 8 unit situation. The rent is probably still going to be high, and who is going to be able to afford the rent when the majority of like y'all not even willing to make the minimum wage increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour. The majority of us are struggling. You know, we always think about the working poor or the poor. You know, when all of this stuff happens, so I know what it is that we're trying to do and provide supports and resources to kind of bridge those gaps, right? Um, but we are few, and that's fine. We will grow. We just got to just keep doing what we're doing, and that's it. I'm not as frustrated probably as you and Crystal are, because I just don't give a crap. Like y'all not going, you know, like I mean, I engage who engage me, and that's it. Like I'm tired. We've been doing this for a long time. It gets exhausting, and you can't save everybody, and everybody can't come. We got to focus on the people who won't come.
I was saying earlier that when I have these I like to call them brain hurricane moments because that's how they happen in my head. It's like a whole hurricane. You know how a hurricane starts with the rain, the torrential rain, and the winds, and it starts to build up. That's how my thought process goes when I think of situations, especially what's going on in community, what's going on in business, what's going on in the world. I feel, and I told this to Khadijah earlier. I feel that when we talk about group economics, one, they do not know the definition of it. They hear economics, economy, they automatically think money. When you think of rich, you automatically think money. And if you're thinking that way, that is the poor thinking. That is us being poor in our thinking and in our life because we're out for self and we can't help it. We're not, I'm not saying that it's wrong for you to be out for self, but we're so poor in our thinking that I have to take care of my family, which is my kids first, your husband, if you have one, boyfriend, whatever, whoever your family is, you take care of that immediate family unit. And they take, because the minimum wage is so low, because we aren't making, six figures where we're living at, let's speak honestly and candidly, that the monies that we do have, when we say take care of your family, they take every last bit of it. So then we're living paycheck to paycheck. So there isn't enough. So when we get approached, or when I say we, speaking in general here, when they're approached about supporting a cause or supporting a movement or supporting one another, Their thinking is that I'm about to give you my last five, so then I won't have. What if my child needs Pampers? My child needs milk. We need food, and I don't have the $5. Not understanding that that five that you gave is going to come back when it's for the benefit of the group, for the good of the group. So a lot of the times, especially in a group, when we're talking about group economics, and the first thing they do is drop their link. Buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Okay, I bought from you, and now what? What are you going to do with it? Oh, I ranked up, or I ranked advanced if they're with a network marketing company, or they bought more product, or whatever it is they did with it. But how does that benefit the group as a whole? They're not seeing that, okay, so I made this one sale. This one sale, the profit that I made from that one sale, half of it goes towards, or whatever you want to divvy it up, goes towards back to me, and then the rest goes to the next business owner or the next. I made a post the other day about who wants to be in the store or want their product, for those who have a product, to being in the store. Everyone says me, 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 but not understanding what it means to be in the store, which meaning, guess what, people, you have to go to a store. You have to make that connection. You have to communicate. And it's not just your stuff on the shelf. You have to make sure that you have enough product. Big brand stores buy in volume. They buy in units. They don't, and you're making your product. You're like me, you're making your product at home. I made 50 jars of scrub. Hands is hurting. Can my 50 jars go to Target? No, because Target want 50,000 jars. Mm-hmm. But can your mom and pop shop, can your neighborhood beauty supply store take your 50? Yes, they can. They're going to take them at cost, and they're not understanding that part of it.
But what about just as a, like, not even the group in general? Because I think, and that's probably has something to do with like Facebook marketing and who we allow in the group initially when we started. You know, we first started, we had a little bit of hiccups in the beginning, so we could have vetted the people a little better. So we have a group where we have some people who are with us, some people who are not. But just as a whole, like in the community, like what Naima was talking about with that house, like why are we allowing grandmom's house to be sold? Like that's a group cooperative economics issue as well. Like if you save the houses in your neighborhood, then the older people won't get pushed out, and it's all about rallying resources. And one person said
that's not the message. The message is no longer like when our parents were coming up and our grandparents were coming up, even when we was young, you know what I mean, like running around, like that was the message. The message was come together, unite, rally your resources. Your resources, your support, barter, your skills. Miss Jones know how to sew. Go take your pants over there so she can stitch your church pants. You know, like all of that kind of stuff. And take a bag of sugar while you're on your way over there. That does not exist anymore. There is.
You know what? I said that to Crystal earlier, and she made a good point though. She made a point about social media glorifying the flashy lifestyle.
We talked about it in the car. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like this whole self-made. First of all, everybody's self-made. That's bullshit. I hate it. I don't even subscribe to it. But the whole I'm self-made, you know, this and that and the third, individualistic mentality, just me and mine. Like it's not my brother is my keeper. It's not each one teach one. It's not, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. Like nobody really embraces that in totality. Well, a lot of us, most people don't really embrace that in totality. You know, so everybody gets left. Like it's greed, it's individualistic mentality, it's a poor person's mentality, and it's just being selfish. As a community. And I think that people are exhausted because they just tired. We've been oppressed for so long. People ain't dealing with their trauma. People ain't dealing with their mental health issues. People ain't dealing with their own socioeconomic issues, like the fact that you don't pay a bill or you can't pay a bill. Either way, it's just avoid it. It's just like avoid what's in front of us and just don't focus on it, you know. And we've done that to our families and we've done that in our community. And I think that that's, you know, a part of the problem. We're not involved with each other. We're not engaged with each other, really outside of social media, you know. So then you wonder why folks don't know what's going on. When city council is, you know, I don't know, giving us information about a meeting, and we didn't know that it was happening because we didn't pay attention because we focused on other stuff.
So do you think social media plays a role in the shift from that mentality from, you know, a village raising the kids, and just because like you said, when we were kids, I would go to the store for Miss Mary just on the strength, and it wasn't about you paying me. Like, I did that for you. You know what I mean? And she will watch out for me, and it was more of community, and we really don't have that now unless it's about self. Even a lot of communities that you see on social media are about the person who's running the group. I really can say without being arrogant that our group is one of the only groups that's really about the members and about them growing together, but you don't really see that.
You got to take the money out of our own pocket.
Right. That's why I had to stop doing it because you're not appreciated.
It's not appreciated, and it's not like those people are saying, "Let me do something else to help the next member in the group."
Right.
It's all self-serving.
And you think, and so that's what. So do you think it's social media? Is the cause for that, or some other reason?
I don't want to totally blame social media. I think social media can be used for good, and it could be, used for bad. I was watching that documentary. Did you guys watch that documentary?
What was it? The social
or something?
Yeah.
Yo, I made the children.
I think when I say social media, I'm talking about the ones who have manipulated social media for their financial gain. Mm-hmm. So here it is. They have 100,000 likes. Let's go with Instagram. They have 100,000 likes. And then now, because they have 100,000 likes, 100K plus followers, now they're offering promo for your business. Now they're offering a class on how to make money off of social media.
Right.
And they're actually telling you, if you're paying attention, they're actually telling you how they make money off of social media because you're paying it. You just pay them $25 or however much that promo is to learn how to make money off of social media, and that is to get your count up. We all know that likes doesn't equal money.
Sales, yeah.
Your followers do, and then what it is that you have. But a lot of what's happening is that those who have the thousands of followers and they're offering promo for your product, then you go back and say, hey, so-and-so like my product. They have my product on their page. Buy from me, because they're not understanding if it's or not even knowing if it's a good product or not. Just because so-and-so had it in their hand, now all of a sudden, it's the bomb. It's flying off the shelves. Just because this social media celebrity had it, and it's super is a perfect example for that, even though she has her own. But as soon as she says something about somebody else's, whether her friends or somebody else about anything, all of a sudden they're sold out. And it's not even because of the product. And I feel like back then in the day, it would be who you knew, not what you knew. Who you know, not what you know. You can go to school for years, but if you can't afford this surgery. My cousin, who's a doctor, is a surgeon, and he has his own surgical practice like that. But now it's all celebrity. You need to know, you have to know, and then a social media celebrity who have way more clout than the, I guess, movie stars or whatever. And for this generation, they could care less about Miss Mary next door who sews. Oh, they want this TikTok famous individual who sold a dress for Lil' Kim, I guess back when she was thin.
Right, but that's why folks is delusional, because we all can't afford that, and we all ain't Lil' Kim. So if there's relevance in this,
and then here's
Johnson over there,
right. And to piggyback off of what you said, because I'm in a lot. I'm not in a lot of groups, but I'm in key groups where I hear certain things and I pick up. So yes, they can't afford that, but what they do is, I'm gonna go back to the house on Cedar Avenue that was probably bought out at an auction or lowballed when it came to them to buy it, and then they got these investors, quote unquote investors. They posted it up there. Everyone is getting their money on the back end because now it's worth $2 million. The banks done gave them that money. They split it up, so now they can afford the dress to be sewn. So when it all, for me, when I say social media, it all plays in hand. I was just talking to Khadijah about these people that I follow on Instagram who are in the real estate and they're young and how they're doing it. And it's not how I was taught to do real estate or even heard about doing real estate, but how they're doing it. And they're making quick, fast money. This one person, I watched him and he had a little story in his stories, how within a week he went from purchasing a property for $1,000 to selling it for $60,000.
And I don't know. For me, like, that's great, right? I want us to all have opportunities. For me, I think it gets bad when you use the opportunity and then, you lose your morals or your ethics and you don't use your opportunities or your resources for the greater good. Like, that's my thing. Like, developing, I don't have a problem with developing, when it's not pushing everybody else out. I don't have an issue with investments or investing when you're not forgetting about the people who you've oppressed in order for you to make this investment. Like, so I don't know. For me, I don't mind everybody, getting $1, but it's become so much bigger than $1 for me.
Right.
Every money is good money. And every situation ain't a good situation. And I want to be, for me, for Naima got to be able to sleep well at night. Naima got to be able to look at herself. Like, I'm modeling certain behaviors and expectations, like for my children. They're involved in what it is that, we decide to do a business. You think we should do this? You think maybe mama should do this? What are your thoughts? So I got to make sure that I'm walking the walk and talking the talk. Like, I despise what's going on right now in our city, and I'm pessimistic about even what's going on the group, because I feel like we are just the minority, right? Our mission is the minority.
Right.
Is more, competition and less collaboration, and that's an issue with us as a people. So, I don't know. I don't blame social media as much. I think that social media can be used for good and bad, but I think ultimately it's the people that got to make the decision to do better and do different and switch the paradigm.
I was thinking two things. Integrity. I talk about that a lot. I even talk about that at work.
Yes.
I don't care we actually talked about that the other day. I don't care where I am and what I'm doing. Like, you have to operate with integrity. And to me, you don't have integrity if you're pushing other people out, you're pushing people down so that you can get hired. That's not how it works. Right. You get there, you pull somebody up. That's just not how it works. And then also about that article that you posted about Apple and Facebook, and about how Apple is more of a lifestyle brand and they want you to, be able to make your own decisions and formulate your own and live the life you want to live the way you want to live it, where Facebook is more data driven and they're really just poaching you for information so that they can sell to you. Information is the new currency. The more information they can get on you, the more they can sell to you. So it really had me thinking today, like, social media,
the documentary, dang.
Like, it can be used for good, but when you think about it, is it really? Like, when you think about it, because we are trying to manipulate the system the way Facebook is manipulating us. So the same way Facebook is manipulating us so that they can show us targeted ads so we can buy and they can sell our information to other people so all of those people can get rich off of us. Essentially, aren't we doing the same thing when we're on Facebook?
They got algorithms in place that keep us from even meeting the marks that some of those other.
But I'm saying, like, on a smaller scale, like when I look at it, like, just for example, all these marketing firms that you had. So we're telling you, this is how you can find your target customer. This is how you can do this. Put that in front of their face, and you can make a whole bunch of money too. It's the same thing that everybody is doing, and I feel like that's why we keep feeling. I mean, we can only speak for us because we are the minority in the group, and just in general, because there's not too many people talking about it. There are, but it had me really thinking, like, well, what are we really doing on social media? That's
Right.
why I was saying we really need to try to fall back from that and start doing more in the community like we want to do. I was trying to use Facebook as a catalyst, social media as a catalyst to meet other people, especially with COVID. You know what I mean? We had to kind of network that way. I did meet some cool people, but after I read that article today, I started thinking about Netflix. I'm like, you know what? That could be the reason why. That could be the reason why that our communities are the way they are, because our children are on there. they're on there more than we are. They're talking to people that they don't even know. You think you're talking to somebody that look like me, and then some dude with a wife beater on looking crazy with a beard. So it's all these factors that come into play with it. And I'm like, you know what? Is it really any good to it at all?
Yes, for me personally. So my family is spread all out, and my family uses social media heavy. I'm talking about like platforms like Instagram and Facebook. So like I probably wouldn't spend so much time like seeing milestones and things like that, like of my great nephews and nieces and my nieces and nephews that live thousands of miles away, if it wasn't for, like social media. Good information happens. Missing children when the media is sleeping sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And ain't getting information out here because they pick and choose what the hell it is. The media is terrible too. What the hell it is that they want to show us. We have an opportunity to take control and put the information out there, ourselves via these platforms. So in some instances, in instances like that, I think it's beneficial. But 1,000%, I feel you about our children being on, and we don't know who they're talking to, and even just the influences, from these small conversations. Like sometimes, I'll listen to what Aya's talking about with her cousin, and they're telling me about like this social media bullying that happened with somebody that they didn't even know that was on
Right.
uh, Minecraft, and they said this, and they said, am I like they're internalizing it? We played our video games and we was next to each other, so we didn't need Ted across the street saying "Go kill yourself, dummy." Like it didn't happen, from all the way states away. Based on like their ability to access social media. Like your friends that you played video games with were in your same space, but now it's just open, for you to have contact with so many other people, and they might not have the same morals, values, ethics, whatever. Might not even be the person that they say that they are. So you got to put things in place. Parents got to definitely put things in place, but it seems like it's never enough. It seems like we're putting more restrictions on our kids and our children, but there's not less children being snatched up. I feel like it's more kids being snatched up.
Right.
So
That article, he mentioned about how they can change the narrative though. Like when he was talking about what was it? It slipped my mind. Not I want to say I'm saying terrorists, but that's not what I'm thinking about. Something happened recently and it slipped my mind, and they were basically with Trump, like how they were gathering and things like that, and how the information was presented to everybody. Even during some of the riots, they would say, remember they had that family, that woman, and they said that she was out rioting, she left her kid, but the police actually beat her up and pulled her out the car, so they can still.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know, like it's making me take a hard look at everything that I'm doing and just taking a high level overview of everything and saying, am I really using it for the best in the best way that I possibly can? Is it really benefiting us? And at this point, for what we're trying to do, I don't think it is. I don't think it's really benefiting us.
It's not. I think it's some things that we can do, and I think that that's the thing that's the responsible thing, right? Like we're taking the time to think critically about what we're doing, and be intentional, right? Be very thoughtful and very intentional about what it is that we're doing. And we might decide that we need to utilize the platform less or in a different way or whatever, but we're on the right track because at least we're having these conversations and trying to figure out how can we affect change in a different way or more effective way, more efficient way, so that we're making sure that we're staying true to our mission and the work that it is that we're doing. We always said that we're more than just a Facebook group, right? We always said this is bigger than Facebook, so it's not, at the end of the day, it's not really about that. And we've been doing this work for a long time. Like Facebook just came around. Like we've been doing this work like forever. So we just got to just stay true to what it is that we're doing. And I don't necessarily think that we need this platform to do that successfully. We can use it for what we want to, for things that are beneficial, for things that aren't going to compromise our ethics, our morals, our values, and leave the rest alone.
Crystal, can you talk about so we mentioned earlier in the show, and then we're going to wrap up about the fundraiser that we're doing. I talked about the program that we're trying to do. but we know that it's a little near and dear to your heart. So I wanted you to be the one to just talk about. I mean, we haven't fleshed out all the ideas, but just to give everybody an idea of what we're trying to do in the program that we're trying to create.
Oh, okay. You said near and dear to your heart. I was about to say now coming to the stage. Skittles. Okay, so I know.
Hold on. Did you say Skittles though? All right, bye. Go ahead.
Yes, taste the rainbow. Hello. Get into it. I need you to follow me. Told you, brain hurricane. So near and dear to my heart are my children, and my children spur all of my ideas in the way I want the world, because I want the world to be a better place for them and children like them. Um, idea, IDEA. I know. You're like, I can spell crystal, and I know you can. But IDEA actually stands for Intellectual Disability Employment Agency. So I want to create a agency, a center for individuals who have an intellectual disability. We are now living in a time where certain words are deemed slurs, derogatory, but you hear them when they say retarded, special needs, and we're talking about our individuals who have Down syndrome, who are on the autism spectrum, which is a huge rainbow. My son is on the spectrum. And when I'm out in the community and I'm seeing our individuals, I see them taking, I work with a couple agencies, and they just take them to the mall, or they take them to bowling, or they take them to the movie theater. And that's great for an activity. But these young people also are young adults. They have dreams, they have goals, they have aspirations. And I want more for them than just being the person that you see, welcome to Walmart, or at the grocery store getting the shopping carts. So the idea would be, and this is great idea, hope you get it. Idea is to have a training center where they're able to gain a valuable skill. I know when I started working, I'm going to date myself. I was born in 71. Whole lot of fun. Okay. When I got my first job at McDonald's, I was in training for 2 weeks before I was able to hit the floor. And I think that a lot of big corporations have lost that training because everything is so quick and fast. But during that time, I was able to understand how to deal with the customer, how to work the cash register, how to work the fryer. And I think companies have strayed away from that, and they just hire people and then throw them out there. So this agency would be for our individuals who have an intellectual disability and partner with the big corporations long term, but short term within our community, the mom and pop shops, our corner store, and have their perfect employee or their manager come to the agency and train our individuals before they hire them. And that would be the contract, that they come train them to work specifically in their store so they can gain a valuable skill set to help them when mom, and I'm about to get teary, me, when we're not around, and they're able to take care of themselves, sustain for themselves, and also have a skill working in the community, being in the community, and working with other people outside of us. And when I say us, the family, who we all had Uncle Junebug, who was in the back room, who wasn't allowed to come downstairs because he was deemed special, and who never had a job. And then when the family isn't around, they're in this nursing home, smearing poop all over the walls and stuff like that. Just giving you a visual, but long term. So that is me, and my idea in our community for my son, for your nephew, for your daughter. And because the disparities are large and very far, and it goes way beyond just having things against you because of the color of your skin. Because once that's gone, then you have this young woman who has an intellectual disability, and she's being at Uncle Skittles. And anyway, I can go on and on and on. But that is idea, and what it's for, and what it's going to do, and who I want to partner with. And I feel like that is the missing link when we're talking about individuals who have an intellectual disability. Once they graduate from school, what's next?
Right.
what's next. And even if they do have that, when you go with the who oh, so and so is the dean of schools, I can get him into this college, but he's taking lower classes or whatever have you. But what happens after? If they are not getting the training and the education because they process things differently. Some are more A-line. Some of my son is very particular with how he wants things, how he wants to be approached, how he wants to approach people. And I noticed that with all the other individuals that I work with who are on the spectrum or who have an intellectual disability, they're not stupid, they're not dumb, they're actually very bright, very smart. Their brain just works differently, and we need to educate them and train them on their level and not lump them into the mainstream. And when they don't perform or they don't do things the way quote unquote normally we're used to doing, we just okay, he can go get the carts or just stand here and say hello.
Okay. So, and Besties in Business, we are going to be helping with that, and that's what our fundraiser is for. Again, go to bestiesinbiz.com to, I don't know what that says, to go to bestiesinbiz.com to donate to our popcorn fundraiser. And you can just hit the donate button if you just want to send any amount. You can donate that way too. So that's what our initiatives are for this year, as well as we have a multi-level marketing conference coming up, and we're going to be back to working with our seniors. I had a Facebook memory come up. We had a huge event planned and COVID kind of ruined it. We are definitely going to get back to love on our seniors. So again, if you want to donate and assist with our missions and our initiative this year, bestiesinbiz.com. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for being awesome hosts. And we'll see you later.
Bye.